Warning, this game has offensive stuff. You were warned. Alright, what is going on, everyone? This is part 4 of Tiny Bunny. Last time we played, we met a girl named Polina, and she has strange things with stray dogs, but she seems, besides that, okay. Has a weird laugh, though. And then there's Semyon, who is just a douche, but he's not even the head honcho. That would be Romka, who carried a butterfly knife. We still have no new information on Vova, but hopefully we'll find out some more on this episode. So let's see how far this rabbit hole really goes. Semyon slowly backed off, giving me an opportunity to stand up. I turned around, dug my nose into the bed sheets, forced my eyes open with great difficulty. Paintings on the walls, books, a pile of comic magazines. I felt up my chin, afraid that I will respond with sharp pain. My fingers slid across my face to my temples. No bumps, no pain. I sat up, blinking in surprise, fixed my glasses. Studied my hands, clean without any mud under the nails. My school badge was reclined against the table. I heard its bits and pieces of conversation through the door. How's that home? In my bedroom. Did I get here myself? And what about the glasses? Did Semyon return them? Polina, maybe? Or an unknown friend? I decided to leave that question for later and looked out the window. The forest had many secrets, and it wasn't in any hurry to reveal them to me. The clock on the nightstand showed 10 a.m. The sun was already above the field, but it didn't bring any warmth. The thicket moaned with its cracking bones. I went out into the hallway, and the conversation became clear laughter. I haven't heard Mom laugh in so long. In a silent house among sneaking shadows. Such an ordinary but dear laughter. I sneaked through the ladder to the lower floor as if afraid to spoil that moment. And then I asked him, "Do you have any comics? I want to buy some for my bunny." And he goes, "Your rabbit reads comics?" Mom burst out laughing and Oya followed suit. "Well, yeah," I tell him, "my bunny is well trained." Gosh, you're the best. Did you doubt me? Not even for a second. Mom and Dad sitting in the tree. When I entered the kitchen, Mom was kissing Dad on the forehead and he was gently stroking her shoulder. Oya sat between our parents, armed with a fork. A polka-dotted cooking pot emanated a pleasant aroma, even the lid was on.
А вот и он.
Here he is.
Привет, Соня.
Hey there,
Вижу
sleepyhead.
отца.
Took after your father and that? The white canvas of frosted window behind Mom's back made it look like she was someone's painting.
Садись, садись. В ногах правды нет.
Come on, sit down. Take the load off your feet.
А завтрак – самое важное для здорового человека.
Breakfast is the most important thing for any healthy person. I sat down, a charming smile on my lips. Oya winked at me and the lamp on the table flickered in unison with her.
Заспанный какой.
You look so sleepy.
Какой есть?
Well, what can you do? He's our child. It's already too late to hand him over to orphanage. Dad let out a dry laugh to show that he was joking. Mom slapped him on the shoulder.
Ой, я голодная, страшно.
So hungry.
А мы, думаешь, просто так тут
Do you think you're the only
слюной
person who's dripping saliva over here?
Братик, ты так кушать будешь?
Big bro, will you eat like this?
Как?
How? I caught the sparkling gazes of my parents on myself. If I had a camera at that moment, I would have taken a snap so I could always look at those smiles on the photograph. I wanted this beautiful moment to last forever. The light bulb went out and then came back. The window glass shuddered slightly.
Сними маску, сынок. Есть же
Take the
неудобно.
mask off, son. It'll get in the way of eating. The mask.
Какую маску?
What mask? A silly smile got stuck on my face. Dad showed me his sturdy white teeth that looked like piano keys, so this is a dream.
Снимай, снимай, заяц.
Come on, take it off, bunny. I slid my hand across my cheek, let out a
Вы о
laugh.
чем?
What do you mean? The whole family was laughing now, pointing their fingers at me and slapping their knees in the tablecloth. Dad wiped his wet eyes with his knuckles. Well, good job making us laugh, son. Now take off your mask, please. I touched my face again, my skin went numb.
Но на мне нет маски.
I'm not wearing a mask. Uh-oh, Mom looked scary. Mom fidgeted in her chair. She tilted her head and squinted. The canvas behind her back turned gray and kept getting darker with every passing moment.
Но я не могу уже терпеть.
I can't wait anymore.
Сними маску, не
Take off the
валяй.
mask so you stop fooling around. His voice was kind but firm.
Мам, Тоша
Mom,
меня
Tosha's
пугает.
scaring me. Rude. Chair legs scraped against the floorboards. Oya moved away from me. She wasn't smiling anymore. Actually, there wasn't a single smile left in the room, if you don't count the cracks in the walls.
Что ты наделал? Твоя сестра плачет.
What have you done? You made your sister cry.
Но
But Oya sobbed, her eyes downcast, sneaking fearful glances at me. Mom slammed her fists on the table and I almost fell to the floor along with the chair.
Сын называется.
Oh man, look at
Мы
that.
веселились, а тут ты пришел. Испортил все.
What a disgrace of a son. We were all having fun, then you came around and ruined everything. Splashes of saliva flew at me. Whoa, whoa. I turned to Dad, begging him to explain what was going on. Sticky syrup trickled down Dad's beard, falling on his shirt. His eyes were looking at it in different directions. Oh, man! Mother dearest, you're not looking so well. The house was alive. Every room had some rustling moving around and breathing in it. The light bulb started flickering like stroboscope. The faces of my parents disappeared into darkness and only appeared again moments later. Outside, a tall shadow walked past the window. It was just an onlooker. The lights went out. I spent 3 heartbeats in complete darkness. Whoa! Then the bulb flashed with blinding light. I'm getting too excited for this. This is not cool. 3 masks were looking at me with 3 gaping eyes. Or their gaping eyes. A fox went where my mom was just a moment ago. A wolfman at the head of the table. And a bunny girl, my Oya. I couldn't even ask what they put on these strange and scary animal faces. I couldn't even ask why they put ton of these put on these strange and scary animal faces. Okay, the tongue threw me off. And why the fur on them was moving, and as if there was something writhing inside the mask, making the paper mache bulge. My tongue didn't listen to the commands my brain sent to it. I could only shift my gaze between the masks, watching the long, twisted shadows behind the backs of my family.
Кушать подано.
She tore off the lid from the pot. Oh my god, it was a cut-off head. It was lying in the bloody gravy. A pair of glazed eyes was drilling me from the inside pot. It was mouth open in silent scream. The head at the bottom of the pot belonged to me. Blood rained down the agonized face of the cut-off head. At the same time, something hot started streaming from my nostrils. Scarlet drops falling into the tablecloth.
Ешь.
Eat up! I screamed. I jumped up. My jaw was burning, as were my temples. The kitchen, the beast, and the animal mask, and the dead head. Everything had disappeared. Everything but the goddamn mask that was haunting me. Every one of the delinquents put it on me before the laughs. I tore off the bunny face that already stuck to my face, threw it into darkness, and realized I woke up near the crumbled snowman in the forest. Covered in snow and carnivorous needles, without my glasses and with a smashed face. So I blacked out. Horrible. Pulsating pain seemed like a gift compared to the horrors I just witnessed. I stood up, spitting out blood. The forest seemed like a prison that was keeping me in its wooden bars. I didn't know how long I was out. My limbs were numb from the cold. My pants were soaking wet. I stood alone in a ring of towering trunks, not able to see anything. Everything around me moved, trembled. My ears went numb from all the rustling. The treetops melted into the darkness of the cosmos. The bushes became empty cells whose occupants were sadly set free. I felt like a clawed fang could fly out of the darkness with my stunned face at any moment. I heard a scream somewhere far away. Anton! That boy who went missing. Tears stung my eyes. A big drop fell from my lashes. Anton! The scream was closer now, and for the moment I believed that I was about to be saved.
Я здесь!
I'm here! The light hit my face. I covered it with my hand. Flashlight's rays slid down.
Антон! Вот ты где.
There you are.
Ты совсем сдурел?
Are you going out of your mind?
Это вообще как понимать?
What's this all about? My dad walked out from the shadows. I went toward him, hoping that he won't melt. That he's not another trick that my insane mind played on me. He turned out to be real, warm and alive.
Язык проглотил.
Cat got your tongue?
Я встретил твою одноклассницу на дороге. Она сказала...
I met a girl from your class on the road, she said. Branches cracked in the distance. I pressed myself into my father's chest, engulfed by fear, and he started looking around, alerted, and spoke in a tone of voice that was much more nervous.
Так, пойдем
Okay,
отсюда скорее.
let's get out of here.
Мать узнает.
If your mother learns of this, she'll be so mad at us that we'll never forget this day. I reached out for my father, still feeling the chilling embrace of fear. I grabbed his firm hand, felt his quick pulse with my fingertips, and stood up and wobbled along behind my father, following his barely discernible footprints. Back to civilization, back to light, back to the road where my dad parked his car.
Чтобы дома ни слова, ясно?
Not a word about this at home. Got it.
Ни единого намека, где я тебя нашел.
Don't even hint at where I found you.
Да, пап.
Alright, Dad. He was holding my hand as if the most precious thing in the world, and kept telling me how afraid he is to lose me or Oya. I nodded and moved my legs. Only when we got to the car, Dad noticed my scratches.
Тебя били?
Somebody hurt you? I felt up my cheek.
Подрался.
I got into a fight.
Из-за чего?
Over what?
Из-за девушки.
A girl. Dad replied with a thoughtful nod. I heard the low hum of the engine. My dad wore a fearful expression. It wasn't that sticky fear that paralyzed me in the nightmare. His fear was noble, like crystal clear diamond. He opened the glove box and got some napkins out of there.
Драться за девушку?
Fighting for the girl you like is right.
Да, нужно решать
Yes,
конфликт
normally
словами.
you try to resolve
Иногда-
things with words. It's
Иногда
just
слова не помогают.
sometimes words don't work. Dad flashed an encouraging smile at me. Right in his glove box, he has a gun. Right as he was about to close the glove box, I noticed a handle peeking from under the rug. He was carrying a gun around. My dad, a true intellectual, had a pistol with him, like in an action movie hero, or like an ordinary thug. Some voice whispered to me. We don't actually know what Dad does, huh? Why does he have a gun? Just a gun in his glove box. The car carried my back home. Carrying my, yeah. Dad was cautiously studying me in the Black Mirror. Black Mirror? Seriously? Can I learn how to read someday, please? I was thinking about the gun, about my dreams, about people in animal masks that pretended to be my parents. Look at that. And the white snowflakes just kept dancing in the starry sky. Look what the cat dragged in. Mom was going downstairs, piercing Dad with her trademark glare. We in trouble, Father. Her face showed something between wrath and condescension. Is the picture blurry because Anton doesn't have his glasses? Because if so, that's really cool. Or it's either that, or My shit's fucking up and I don't like that.
Так, я не поняла.
Hey, what's that? Where are your glasses, Anton? Did you lose them?
Да в школе поди забыл, простофиля.
This dummy just probably forgot them at school. A venomous pause followed.
Весь в тебя.
He's your son, alright? Oh, he's your son, alright. Dad glared at Mom and then mischievously winked at me, reminding me of our deal.
Ну ничего, есть же
Well,
запасные.
we have spare
Проживем
glasses, so we'll
как-нибудь.
manage somehow. My parents stood in silence a bit longer, and then both of them went to mind their own businesses. Oya threw herself into my arms before I could even take off my coat.
А я лису
I
видела.
saw a fox! Surprise akin to a shotgun blast. I could only flap my lips in reply. A cup shattered into many little pieces with a loud thing. My mom let it fall from her hands. Her face was pale and her eyes were glued to the ground. This pause, just a split second, felt like an eternity. Then my mom spoke with disappointment. First it was an owl, and now it's a fox. Will you ever get tired of this?
Правда, правда.
But it's true.
Такая
She was
пушистая.
so fluffy.
Она у забора стояла.
She
на
stood on her
задних
back
лапах,
legs near the
совсем как
hedge, just like a
человек.
person.
Она меня позвала, а тут мама.
The fox
вышла,
called my
и
name,
лиса
but then Mom
убежала.
came and she fled. There was no fox. Stop making things up.
Не подходи к ней.
Don't go near her. If it wasn't necessary, I was ready to shake my sister as if she was a doll made of cloth.
Ты чего,
What's wrong,
Тоша?
Tosha?
Не подходи, слышишь?
Don't go. You hear me? Mom entered the hallway and gave me a surprised look. I hesitated.
Лиса ведь
Well,
укусить
a
может.
fox will bite you. I remember fairy tales where foxes used to kidnap children. I imagined Elisa liberated, carnivorous, running through the night forest with dangling sack in her hands.
Это ж была не настоящая лиса.
It wasn't a real fox.
Расскажи ему, Оль.
Tell him, Oya.
Она на двух ногах ходила.
She stood
а
on
ещё
two
была
legs
в
and she wore a
платье
dress.
одета. Только она была
And she was
взаправду.
real. You got that? She was real. You dig?
Видишь?
See? Mom showed us a tired smile, as if she was the only explanation needed. Also forced myself to smile. My smile was like a thin piece of soap right before it dissolves completely in your palm. But when I was left alone with my sister, I whispered,
Раз увидишь её.
"If you see her again, run." Memories about my family and disgusting mass attack bombarded me like underhanded blows of my classmates. The furry faces of my family stood before my eyes, their toothy mouths full of thick saliva. What's happening to me? What kinds of tricks is my mind playing on me? This bunny mask was real. It just happened. It just appeared in my school bag out of nowhere, as if I never threw it away or in the forest. I shut my eyes and threw the vitamins in my mouth, washed them down with water. Please, stop driving me mad, please. I barely managed to force myself to do homework, but these math problems just refused to be solved. Numbers in my notebook tumbled around and mixed in a rolling dance, sometimes running over the lines. My head became heavy from that pandemonium, and I almost dropped it into a chain of numbers. My eyelids felt like there were two tiny weights tied to them, and the type used in grocery stores. And right at the moment I surrendered and closed my notebook, the memories of my day started flashing before my eyes. I was in the middle of a stuffy school corridor. I could see the literature classroom from here, the faces of dead classical writers on their portraits, the prim and regal pose of a homeroom teacher, Lilia Pavlovna. And around the corner was her daughter, Katya, a snitch and gossip, eagerly waiting for me.
Эй, ну
Hey,
иди.
transfer student. Ah, this bitch. Ugh.
Чего тебе, Кать?
What do you want, Katya? She got on her tiptoes and started swaying while hiding her hands behind her back, and then asked me with a fake smile on her face,
А,
"Can I ask you
скажи,
something?
пожалуйста,
Why did you get
почему
transferred
тебя
here?"
к нам перевели, а?
I might have told the truth about this to Polina, but Katya will sell it on the market for 3 kopeikas? Paprika? It would be the same as printing all the thoughts and hanging them near Volva's picture for everyone to see. I am uncultured. So I reverted to answer I knew by heart.
Это все из-за моих родителей.
It's all because of my
У папы
parents.
тут новая работа.
Dad has
А
a new
мама-
job here, and
мама-
my mom. But Katja didn't even listen to me, just rushed toward the perk up the ears of her friends, whispered something while stealing glances at me and giggled.
Да-да,
Yeah,
конечно,
right.
конечно.
Listen, I don't condone hitting women, but I'm about to slap a bitch.
У нас тут совсем за дурачков
He takes us for all
держат.
fools.
Я вот слыхала, что
I
это
heard it's
всё
all
из-за
because
его
of his
отца.
father.
Он недавно кому-то крутому дорогу перешел, и теперь они всей своей семейкой в нашем захолустье скрываются.
He crossed the road of some big shot, and now their family is hiding in our remote little village. How would they know that? Would explain why he had a gun. So are they in a witness protectness program? And if that's on the table, then why are, if they are in witness protection, then what's that supposed to mean for? Well, it's not a known small town, right? But now there's rumors of a serial killer being around. I don't know. Nothing's not. No dots are connecting yet.
Неправда! Ты все врешь!
That's not true. You're lying.
А слышали?
And did you
Слышали,
hear?
как
Did
ему
you hear
по
how
морде всыпали?
Auburn beat him up? Not exactly true. I was ganged up on by 3 guys. Okay, 3 on 1. Considering the circumstances, I did pretty damn good.
А этот лишь ручки опустил, да глазенки
And all he could do was
потупил.
look all pathetic and take it.
Прекрати!
Stop
Ты
it, you
знаешь,
know
он
he
не
wasn't
один
alone.
был.
И будто этого мало.
And if that wasn't enough,
Ходят
there are
слухи,
rumors that this
что
weirdo
этот
carries a bunny
черт
mask with him
повсюду
wherever he
таскает с
goes.
собой. Ой, девочки,
Who in their
кто
right
же в
mind would do
своем
something like
уме
that, huh?
будет такое
Girls? You're a girl, you idiot.
делать? Ясно,
I see, I see.
со странностями нашими.
Anton Toshka must be truly special.
Может, слабо.
Maybe he's an
А может?
autistic? I know that they meant autistic, but what if
И маньяк?
he's a serial killer? What? If that were true, you'd be dead, bitch. I'm just saying, you'd be probably my first target.
Если в его портфеле хорошо покопаться.
I'm sure you'll be able to find an axe in his backpack if you look hard enough for something even worse. You know, this is probably how the Huntress came out about from Dead by Daylight.
Да-да-да.
Yes, yes, yes.
Замолчи!
Shut up.
Заткнись!
Вон как
Look at him
раскричался,
scream as if
будто
something bit him.
ужаленный. А зрачки-то,
His pupils, look
зрачки
how wide they
такие
are.
широкие. Опять чего доброго
I hope he won't go
скажет.
insane and resort to
Руки
violence
кусать
again.
начнет. Не зря же его
I mean,
мать
there must be a
так
reason his mom always feeds him those pills, right? Well, actually, I was wondering that myself. But there's no way she'd be able to know that, so I just stood there in confusion, trying to vainly understand how she found out about my medicine. And what scared me even more was the possibility that her nonsense had some truth mixed in.
Да-да.
Yes, that's right.
Он такой же
He's as insane as his little
как и его
sister.
сестрица. Представляете?
Can you imagine that
Этой
she says a
сумасшедшей
human-sized
дурочке
owl visits her
каждую
every
ночь
night?
прилетает. Только что-то её никто
And not a
из
single
здоровых
healthy
людей
person
не
has seen it.
видел. А этот наивный простак ей
And this
верит.
simpleton believes her.
Нет,
Can you imagine that?
представляете?
I don't condone killing kids unless they're a dick. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Look it up. And then I caught a single kind of look from the smirking crowd.
Как же так, Антон?
How can it be, Anton?
Неужели
Are you really...
тебе
Are
не
you unwell?
здоровится?
Полина, послушай меня!
Paulina, please listen to me.
Как же, как же?
Yeah, right.
Не слушай этого
Don't listen to this
болтуна,
liar.
Полиночка.
Paulina.
Свистит он, что в Москве
He's probably
было
never
как
even
пить
been to
дать.
Moscow.
Это ничтожество
This
даже
lyric can't even
постоять
stand
за
up for
себя не
himself.
может.
And apparently you can't go out without eyeshadow either, so, you know, to each their own.
А при случае и за тебя не заступится.
And you won't be able to defend you if it comes down to it.
Бросит, думает,
He'll run away to
только
protect his own
самому
skin.
Слабак.
Weak, lean. Polina stops as if someone kicked her in the stomach and then burst out in tears and fell to the dirty floor, wailing and screaming. Which doesn't really make much sense. We know she hates dogs, we know that much. She's more of a cat person. No, no! Why, Anton? Why? I couldn't understand her reaction, but I still rushed to Polina's side before getting shoved violently by Katya.
Убери
Get your
от
paws
меня
off
свои
her, you
лапы,
monster.
чудовище!
Rage was building up under the veil of my fear. It slowly rose from the cloudy mist. I felt my upper lip creep up, showing my
То,
teeth.
что твой отец
The
бьет
fact that your
мать,
father beats your
еще
mother
не
doesn't give
дает
you the
тебе
right to do
права
the same to
поднимать
girls?
руку на
Wait a
девушку.
minute, that was never on the table before. My fists became hammers. I couldn't unclench them. Nobody can speak about my family like that. Came to my senses when I already lunged at the angry Katya. He went nuts! Nuts! Help, help, Petrov! Went completely insane! At the same moment, the crowd around her became louder, became whistling and roaring. And growing. The subtle silhouettes of my schoolmates became larger, wider, they shot upward toward the ceiling. Turned into a giant black forest, chock full of toothy faces. I shrank to a tiny ball of fur and started shaking in fear before the Maya ulcer of ulcer-ridden trunks that belonged to either trees or humans. It was impossible to tell.
Вот ты и показал своё
So you've finally shown your
животное
animal
нутро.
nature. A bunny?
Трус!
Coward! Catch's faces twitched with jubilation and ecstasy. Why? No! Why did you do this to me? Do what? I'm so confused. Polina screamed while choking on her tears. Yeah. He is just an animal.
Чужак!
An outsider. A scary flapping of wings came from the forest. A pair of giant white ears descended somewhere from above and dug myself into them.
Пожалуйста! Вставай!
I jumped up, almost falling out of bed. Apparently I was thrashing around for hours on the sweat-soaked sheets. Oya screamed, pulled me out, set me free from the tentacles of fear.
Антон! Пожалуйста!
Please? Wake up! Wake up! I took my eyes off for a while to focus on the silhouette near the window. Oya's voice was distant. My head was still ringing after the fight. Sounds got distorted as if my ears were stuffed with cotton. My sister, as distressed as ever, just kept on repeating the same phrase. The owl! The owl!
Пожалуйста!
Please.
Я боюсь!
I'm scared.
Боюсь!
Her tears poured out of my heart like boiling water, but I was almost thankful for the owl's appearance. Otherwise, the scared Oya wouldn't have to woken me
я
up.
сейчас.
Wait a second, Oya.
Хочешь, я тебе Мурзилку
Want me to read
почитаю?
Rzilka for you?
Подожди.
Give me... I placed my bare heels on the cold floor. Felt around for my glasses. Remembered Semyon, his underhanded act, and sighed.
Антон! Пожалуйста!
Please, please, look. She couldn't tear her eyes off the window as if it was a staring contest. I found a light switch with my hand, and the lamp poured bright light all over me. I got up. My vision fooled me, moving the window closer, only to push it farther the next moment. My sister was just a blurry spot. Why would she be at my window? I took a hesitant step forward. Oh yeah,
Что там?
what's there?
Что-то случилось?
What
Ты
happened?
хочешь, чтобы я открыл?
Do you want me to open the curtains? No, please don't.
Там же...
The owl is there. Wait, she does hide in the curtains, though, doesn't she? Yeah, that was a thing that... She did before he tried to scare me. The voice was coming from behind. Whoa! I turned and froze from terror. Teary-eyed Oya stood in the doorway. Who are you talking to right now? Oh no! What the fuck are you? I knew you were Oya! I knew it! Oh no! Then what the fuck is that? And Oya didn't hear anything! Oh, Anton's a schizophrenic. She stared at me with eyes that were red from crying, with her hands wrapped around her shoulders. Her voice was nervous, as if she was afraid to hear my answer. I was talking to you. To someone who pretended to be you. The ledge outside my window creaked ominously, as if something huge was sitting on top of it. And the thing that pretended to be Oya started spreading, changing shape, grow to scary heights under the light of a carnivorous moon. Please, come closer. Come here. The voice didn't belong to my sister anymore. The thing that was hiding behind my curtains got tired of pretending, making me look like a fool. I pinched myself as hard as I could, hoping that the silhouette near the window was just a continuation of my nightmare, a hallucination brought upon by the cursed house. And those don't bite, do they? The silhouette was towering before me under the veil of mist. I heard Oya's shrill scream when someone had knocked on the window. They came to get us! Another knock. I stepped back in the middle of the room, as if there existed nooks where I could hide from this horror. The sound was sharp, metallic. The lamp started shivering, then it suddenly lighted the whole room and went up to the candle under a strong wind. The filament inside it snapped with this ringing sound. The darkness I was waiting for that exact moment poured from all the angles and enveloped me. There was only this window left in the whole universe. Moonlight poured through it, painting everything the colorful bones that were exhumed from the crypt. Oya started squealing and pressed herself onto my back, seeking protection. And then an eye, burning with carnivorous fire, stared at us from the window. No, it wasn't trying to break the window. It was toying with us. It just kept on knocking, driving us mad. As if a giant clock was measuring the time left for us, the pendulum swinging above the abyss. She was screaming in desperation, her hands clutching my arm like a pair of pincers. Come closer. I could barely make out a pair of wings that spread out above the black spot. Tell her, Anton. Tell her that I won't be a bad girl anymore. Never ever. I just want it to leave. Please. The moonlight suddenly disappeared on the room, descended into darkness. We couldn't see the burning eyes anymore. I swallowed a stingy lump that was stuck in my throat, stepped toward the curtains, and entranced by the call of this disfigured guest. Oya was standing behind me, mumbling, "I'll be good, I'll be good, I'll be good." The bleak window was creeping closer, curtains rustled. I reached out to move them to the side and so I could look at my fear in the eye. At that moment, I heard noise coming from our parents' bedroom. Without thinking, I pulled the curtain to the side in one swing. Nothing. Though there was something shining on the ledge among the scattered feathers. Glasses. Glasses. Well, that's strange. The ones that Semyon took from me. How did they get there? Are they actually there? I have so many questions. Was that a gift from the gurgling night? Did the owl really bring them here? Is it a good owl? Is it a bad owl? Why did it pretend to be Oya? Was it to make me trust it? Why was it? Is the owl even real? Because Oya heard it too, right? Is Oya even there? Is Oya my real sister? I looked at the front yard and the foreboding clearing at the toothy forest. Not a soul, not a trace of our late-night guest. Only the old lamppost dreamed like a lone watchman among the snowy desert. The dry window frame creaked. I tore away from the insulating tape and the stripes of glue newspapers. Opened the windows with big trouble. Frost pinned with its little needles, the paintings on my walls moved from the draft. I touched my glasses, sure they would melt in my hands, but they were real. My brain was scrambling for an explanation. Semyon and his gang just pulled out a prank on me, that was it? That's it. A smooth white blanket that was glimmering under the street lamp just outside our yard. And if anybody was to get closer to the house to climb the pipe to the ledge of my window, they would surely leave footprints. But there were none. But there are bird prints, of the owl variety. I cautiously took my glasses. My wrist was still intact. Nobody pulled me into the darkness full of restless writhing.
Вы почему не спите?
Why aren't you in bed? It's free real estate?
Совсем сдурели?
Are you out of your mind?
Жарко, что ли?
Did it feel hot in here?
Не болели давно?
Do you want to catch a cold?
Там сова!
The owl is here. Tosha's chasing away.
А ну-ка марш спать
Go to your
к
room
себе в
immediately
комнату.
and get in your bed.
А с тобой?
And you. Mom paused, directing her seething eyes at me. She was thinking of a punishment equivalent to my crime. In the end, she just waved her hand, took Oya by the shoulder, and left, throwing the glowing words my way.
Завтра поговорим.
We'll talk tomorrow. I managed to get the frame back in place with a couple of hits. Pressed into the latches with all the strength of my fingers could muster. The cold left the room, but the fear was still present. I placed my glasses on my nose and started studying my reflection in the window. It didn't look like my face, more like a death mask. Just like the one worn by the boy from the notice board. That night, I was on the edge of joining him there. A black and white face was staring at me through the... No way! A black and white face was staring at me through the clearing between student heads. Attention, child missing, Semyon, 13 years old, grade 6. He left school in the morning of January 16th and never returned. Features, 155 to 160 centimeters tall, chubby, brown hair and gray eyes. Was wearing a dark brown sheepskin coat, a beige scarf, a black mink hat, and Alaska boots. Please call these numbers if you have any information on Semyon's whereabouts. I would like to say I'm sad, but I'm kinda not. Now there's 2 missing kids. Bobber's photo was printed out and placed under glass like an exhibition piece. Episode 3. On end, the wolf's grave furs will stand. I have so many questions. So now Volva and Semyon's now missing. And somehow, Semyon going missing would definitely... No. It would definitely help out Anton's situation at school, even a little bit at least. That still leaves Romkov and Vyasha. What would have happened? Did anything happen to them? Because they were all together. And then there's the owl that both Oya and Anton saw. Or at least, I think they saw. As they portrayed in the story. And then Anton's dad. What's he have the gun for? Where does he work at? What's his purpose of moving to that small town from Moscow? I just kind of figured he lost his job, but it seems like that's not the case. And then there's Polina. What's her story with the dogs? I mean, I understand that a pack of strays almost killed her grandpa, but I don't see why she would hate all dogs. Or maybe that's just me. Well, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll hope to see you in the next one. Later.
You're damn right I killed him! Ah!